Good morning. Hope everybody is doing well in this cloudy, dreary morning. If you have a block or two, I would recommend them for our practice today. And then I sent each of you a link to a playlist on Spotify. We can press play at the same time on that one, just in case you hear my crossover. So just have it pulled up and ready. Make sure it's not on shuffle. And that is all you will need today. All right. So it says Yoga 75. And you're gonna click play here in 3, 2, and press play. Then once you find extended child's pose or have a seat or lie down, it's really however you were most comfortable beginning your practice today. You take a few deep breaths to help you settle in. To really be here, to really be present in your space and your practice. Focus on the things that are real. You can hear my voice. You can hear music. Perhaps you can hear traffic outside or neighbors. You hear the sound of your own breath. And what do you feel with that breath? What is real there? Well, is the sensation as it enters your nose, as it leaves your nose, it'll tickle above your lip. You feel your back or your chest rise and fall. Lungs expand as they fill. You notice the mat underneath you, touching your palms, perhaps your forehead. What parts of your body do you feel that physical support? Being held up. You notice the clothes on your skin, maybe the tickle of your hair. All of these things make up the space that you're in right now. And they help hold you present. And when you feel stress coming on or tension in the form of a big challenge, you can still stay here rather than distracting yourself. And you just come back to those physical things. What do I feel? What do I hear? What do I smell? Right? Anything that holds you exactly where you are. And you practice this on your mat because in the real world, off of your mat, it can be really hard to find that presence. It's really easy to get caught up in the rush of the day or just the overall distractions of everything around. So you practice being here because when you're present in your life, that's where the most joy can get in as well. That's where you really get to see the beauty and the learning and the evolution of human life. Now, bring your palms to face upwards, whether it is on your mat or on your knees. For your intention today, of course it can be whatever you want, but perhaps it's staying fully present for just 1 hour, really practicing each time your mind wanders, coming back here. Because here is exactly where you need to be. Clear all of the air out of your lungs. Take a deep breath in, go all the way up. And send it out with a great big open mouth exhale. Then seal your lips. Breathe in through your nose. And breathe out through your nose. Full body inhale. And full body exhale. And this time that same breath while constricting the muscles in your throat. Ujjayi breath in. And Ujjayi breath out. Bring your palms to face down. If you're in extended child's pose, maybe you roll your forehead back and forth across the mat. If you're upright or lying down, maybe you bring your chin from shoulder to shoulder, just starting with really small movements to start waking up your body further. Now, we'll meet in tabletop. You can get there however you like. You can take movements, you can take stretches along the way. But as you make those movements a little bigger, get deeper into your body, maybe have a moment of gratitude and thanks for your body this morning. And even all the creaks and the pops, I hope you can't hear mine. Your body is so strong and so wonderful. And I don't think we tell it that quite enough. In your tabletop, make sure your core is fully engaged. Uddiyana Bandha, belly button in and up, ribs together, shoulders over wrists, lifting out of your shoulders, soften your elbows just a tiny little bit. And here, take a deep breath in. And take a slow breath out. Inhale, cow, drop your belly, look up. Exhale, cat, round your spine. Do it again, deep breath in. Actively pull your chest forward, push into your fingertips. Exhale, cat, carve out your belly, draw your hips up and in. Do it again, deep breath in, open through the front line of your body. Full breath out, open through your spine. Flatten your back, curl your toes under, and lift your hips into downward facing dog. Not wasting any time, start to pedal your feet. You can roll out one ankle and then the other. With these bigger movements in your body, how's it feeling? The sensations within your muscles, within your joints. Give yourself permission now to modify as we move if you need. And that can be stepping back in practice or pushing further. And when you find stillness in down dog, press your chest towards your thighs, hang your head heavy. Soften your knees a little. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. Full body inhale. Full body exhale. Inhale, stretch your right toes high. Exhale, bend your knee and open your hips. Find some circles with your knee. Put a little more weight in your right hand for balance and bring those circles the opposite way. Then stretch your toes high, close your hip off, take a breath. Exhale, low lunge, step between your hands and bring your left knee down to the mat. Lift your right hand up. You kind of twist in your spine. Little to no weight in your bottom hand, really. If you lift it up, nothing much would change because some core strength is doing a lot of holding you here. You can always put a block underneath your hand as well. Then start to circle your wrist, bending your elbow, waking up the right arm. Maybe find some big circles with your shoulder. Right. And then stretch your right hand up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together to keep that twist. And rise, shoulders over hips. Pull back with your right hip, push your left hip forward, and stretch your fingertips long as you can in both directions. Lean slightly forward until you feel stretch in front of your left thigh. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. Inhale to crescent moon, right arm sweeps down, and then both arms high. Exhale and find a little back bend. You can bend your elbows here if you like. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, grab your left wrist with your right hand. Inhale, lengthen the left side of your body. Exhale, fold over to the right, just enough to feel a little stretch in the left side of your torso. Bring your left shoulder slightly back, look under your arm. Breathe in. Breathe out. Release your grip. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor on the inside of your right foot. Curl your back toes under and lift your knee. Then walk your hands over to the left. So you're opening to the left side of your mat. Your right knee is bent. Your left leg is long. And now walk your hands through center, come to the back of your mat, bend your left knee, lengthen your right leg. You're going to walk to the front and back on your own. You're waking up your legs a little further. Your core, of course, has to work quite a bit to keep you upright. But you have the floor here, so you can absolutely use it. You're not balancing right now. And then walk yourself to the front of your mat. Pivot all the way forward into a low lunge. Make sure the heel of your hands are down. Inhale, right toes high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Give your feet a quick little pedal. Next breath, your left toes stretch high. Exhale, bend your knee, open through your hip, take some circles. More weight in your left palm. Reverse the circles. Inhale, toes high. Exhale, lunge, step forward. Bring your right knee down. Lift your left hand up. Little to no weight in the right hand now. Circle your wrist. Bend your elbow. Circle your shoulder. And then stretch your left arm all the way up. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Use your core strength to lift you upright. Shoulders over hips. Pull back with your left hip. Push the right hip forward and lean into it until you get the stretch in the front of your right thigh. Stretch your fingertips long, straight out from your shoulders, and keep the crown of your head reaching, pulling high. Good. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, find that little back bend. Squeeze your shoulders back. Pull the elbows actively behind you. Inhale to the top. Exhale, grab your right wrist. Inhale, lengthen the right side of your body. Exhale, fold a little to the left. Open through the right side. Right shoulder pulls back. You look underneath. You take a deep breath. And you exhale. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, hands to the floor on the inside of your left foot. Curl your right toes under. Lift your knee. This time, walk your hands to the right. So now you're opening to the right side of your mat. Now I want you to hold the stretch this time. A block underneath your hands can bring the floor closer to you if you wish. Otherwise, just use the floor. Flex your right foot so your toes are pointing at the ceiling. Put a little bend to your right knee. Dig your heel down into the mat and then statically pull back. So your heel doesn't physically move, but you're lengthening the back of your leg. Now press the left knee back as much as you can to opening your hips. Maybe you walk your hands in a little. Going towards a straight spine. Good. Now walk your hands through the center. Do the same stretch to the back. Bend your right knee, lengthen your left leg. And walk through those same steps. Flex your toes, point them upwards. Put a little bend to your knee. Heel down, static grip to lengthen the back of your leg. Right knee pulls back. Pelvis tucks. So now your tailbone is more down than out behind you. Take a deep breath. Send all of that energy into the belly of your calf and your hamstring. Full breath out. Good. All right, walk it to the front. Low lunge. Bend your left knee, hands down, flat on the floor. Inhale, left toes high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Give it another quick pedal. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. Inhale to a halfway lift and pause. Now push into your shins or your thighs, not your knees, and actively push. So when you actively push, it sounds like a really stereotypical yoga thing to say, right? Energetically push into your thighs. But really, I do want you to actively push into them because that will automatically lengthen your spine for you and engage your core muscles. So every time you're in a halfway lift, I want it to be this strong in your body. You tip weight into your toes. You look straight down so your neck is neutral. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, hinge back down. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Rise and stand tall. Exhale, drop your shoulders away from your ears. Broaden your upper body. Tuck your pelvis underneath you. Take a deep breath. Exhale, open twist to the right. Sweep your right hand behind you. Pull your left fingertips forward. Pause. So your chest opens to the right. Push your right hip bone towards the front of your mat. Ideally, your hips stay square with the front and just your chest opens to the side rather than your whole body twisting open. Inhale, come back through Tadasana, stand tall. Exhale, twist to the left. Same idea. Left hand pulls back, right hand pulls forward, and then you dial the left hip forward. And this isn't to make a prettier twist in your body. It's that when your whole body opens, you tend to start to twist through your hip and then through your knee. Your knees don't love that. So keeping that square and allowing just the twist in your upper body, much safer and builds strength. Inhale, back through Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, make it strong. Exhale to a high plank. Palms down, feet back, hip bones lock up and in. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. Push into your mat like you're pushing it away from you. Soften your elbows just a little bit and now push into your toes. Take a full body inhale. Full body exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders together. Exhale and fold. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose, rise. Exhale, open twist to the right. Push your right hip forward. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, open twist to the left. Push your left hip forward. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Tip slightly forward. Exhale, high plank. This time in your high plank, set your knees to the mat. Curl your hip bones up and in, and bend your elbows. Bring them straight back and come about halfway down to the floor. Now inhale, modified upward facing dog. Push hard into your fingertips as you lift your chest. Your hips are lifted. They are not dumping onto the floor. With a little bend to your elbows, you pull your collarbones apart. Take a deep breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Toes under, hips high. Take a breath. And let it go. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, soften your knees. Exhale, high plank. Take a deep breath at the top. Exhale, bend your elbows, come halfway down. Flip to the tops of your feet. Inhale, upward facing dog, hips are lifted. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips high. Find your breath. Those are your options as we move. You can skip the chaturangas, you can take them on your knees, whatever feels best. Remember, this is your practice, and I just want you to be present in it. All right. Clear all of the air out of your lungs. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, unfold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Bend your knees. Sweep your arms up. You can laugh at my Minnesota accent. I don't think that there's a good way to say Utkatasana without sounding completely Minnesotan. Curl your hip bones up and in. Feel your lower abdomen engage when you do that. Keep that engagement. Get a little bit lower. Push into your heels. Take a deep breath. Exhale, twist to the right. Sweep your right hand back. Pull your left hand forward and look at your knees. You want your knees and hips square to the front. So if the left knee popped forward, pull it back in line. Good. Now inhale, back to chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Lengthen your legs as you come down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge. Your left foot steps back. Your hands come to the ground. Now here, lift your right hand and find your twist. You've been here before. Your knee was down, and your knee can absolutely come down again if you wish. Now, with the twist in your spine, you take a breath in as you rise, shoulders over hips. Pull back with your right hip. Push your left hip forward. Lengthen your left leg as much as you can. Push into your toes. Take a deep breath. Lift your chin. Breathe out. Good. Inhale, crescent moon. Right hand sweeps forward. Both arms high. Exhale, warrior two. Spin your left heel down. Breathe. Look at your feet. Front heel, about halfway through the back foot. Back toes, point towards the top left corner of your mat. Again, protecting your knee. Get a little lower. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, reverse triangle. Lengthen your right leg. Lift your right arm. Pause a moment here. Little to no weight on that back hand. You are stretching, creating space between your right rib cage and your right hip. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, sweep your right hand all the way up and over. Come down towards the back of your mat, towards your left foot. From here, your hands walk through the center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend your right knee, lengthen your left leg. Now, you've been here before as well. This is the start of Skandasana, or Surfer's Pose. Now, I'm going to flip around. You stay as you are, because I want you to be able to see me. So pull your right knee back. Keep that little bend in your left knee that's protecting your knee joint, and really scoop your pelvis, like a comical amount. You're drawing your hip bones up and in, condensing the space in your abdomen. That's going to help you with this next part, because I want you to try and come upright. Walk your hands towards your body. You can put a block underneath your hands to bring the floor closer. Absolutely. All right, now you start to lift your chest, and maybe you test your balance. If you feel good, you absolutely can bring hands up. Thumbs to heart center or chest center. You could add Skandasana arms, but we're not going for the full Skandasana lift right now. You're working on balance. And that pelvic tuck, that's a huge part of the balance. Because if your butt's sticking out behind you, look what happens. Butt out, oh, you fall back, right? So you really got to work your core muscles to tuck the pelvis underneath. Now, from here, your right hand is touching down behind your right leg. So you bring it down to the mat. Stretch your left arm up and over. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Left hand comes down, you pivot forward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, standing splits. Lift the left leg off of the mat. Lengthen your right leg. Grip the mat with your right toes, but put a little bend to your knee. Now, make sure your left hip is tucked underneath. You want your kneecap towards the floor, not out to the side here. So tuck it under and flex your foot. And here we have a big movement. You're going into Warrior 3. So extend your arms forward. Your fingertips can touch the floor to start. Keep that little bend in your right knee, and you start to lift your chest. Now move slow and keep that bend in your knee until you're roughly making a capital T shape with your body. And you may need to touch down a couple times for balance sake and hamstring sake. It seizes up pretty quick here, especially if you have a straight leg. So make sure your knee is bent and you stretch as long as you can from your heel through your fingertips. Take a deep inhale and a full exhale. Is your right leg getting a little shaky? It's kind of the idea. All right, now here's another big move. You're coming up to dancer's pose. So start to stand all the way up and bend your left knee. Your heel draws in towards your seat as you come up. Now, when you get to the top, your left knee is more or less in line with the right, and it's bent. Now sweep your left hand back and grab the arch of your left foot and pull that knee in all the way. Pull up and in with your right hip so you're one long line in the right side of your body. Now, this right here is dancer's pose, and you can stay here and work on the balance. Or if you'd like to kick into it just a little bit, kick your foot into your hand, your heel comes away from your seats, and then you start to lift your toes towards the ceiling a little. It's not your deepest dancer's pose you've ever taken. We're not staying here very long at all. Just testing the waters, if you will. All right, now release your foot. Inhale to one-legged Tadasana. That left knee is coming forward. Both arms reach high. Exhale to figure four. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Flex your foot and pull your knee back. Draw your hip bones up and in. Connect your palms. Bring them down. All right, now, when you press your knee back, you start to feel a little stretch or a little pull in your hip. If you bend your right knee, sinking your hips back behind you, pulling your chest forward, you're going to get a big stretch in your left hip. You're also balancing and working a ton of muscles in that right leg. But your goal here is to keep your back nice and flat versus rounding forward, because we spend all day like that when we work, right? So reverse it. Pull your shoulders back. All right, come back to the top. One-legged Tadasana. Take a deep breath. Exhale, forward fold. Step down, hinge forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. Make it strong. Exhale, chaturanga, high to low plank, or of course your variation. Inhale through upward facing dog and exhale down dog. And inhale, look forward. Exhale to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Bend your knees, sweep your arms up. Exhale as you settle in. Now in a pose like this, it's really easy to just focus on physically what's happening with your lower limbs because they get really achy, right? But make your upper body intentional as well. Think Tadasana with your arms. Pinkies angle in. Fingertips stretch as far forward as you can, but shoulders pull back to broaden your upper body. So upper body fully engaged here. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Sweep your left hand back, pull the right hand forward. Look at your knees. Is the right knee popping forward or away from the left? Draw it and try to even them out. Keep your pelvis tucked. There's a ton of core work happening here. Inhale, back to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge. Your right foot steps back this time. Lift your left hand, find your twist. Your core strength will lift you, but remember, right knee can come down. Rise as you inhale, shoulders over hips. Exhale at the top, pull back with the left, push the right hip forward, push into your toes, but draw your shoulders upright over your hips, tall, straight spine. Good, take a deep breath. And exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge, sweep forward. Exhale, warrior two, open to the side. Pause just a moment. Make sure your left toes are out in front of your knee. That's just better for your knee. Push into the pinky edge side of your back foot. Maybe you get a little bit lower. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale here. How much space can you create in the left side of your body? You stretch and you reach and you lift through that right side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sweep up and over towards the back of your mat. Walk your hands through the center. Then your left knee, lengthen your right leg. Skandasana. Walk your hands in. And remember, you're working on getting upright here. You can absolutely use your block at any height to help aid in that lift. Remember, you have to have your tailbone tucked down in order to really get upright, or you're going to tip backwards. Hips are a heavy set of bones in your body. So if they're sticking out behind you, that's where your weight's going. Really easy to hyperextend your knee in this position. So rather than letting it be as straight as you possibly could, you have a little bend, which allows you to use the hamstring and the quad in that right leg for extra lift. Reach the crown of your head high. You can add some arms if you like, reaching towards the back of your mat. You take a deep inhale and a slow exhale. Your left hand meets the ground behind you. Right arm stretches up and over. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Pivot forward. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, standing splits. Launch that right leg up. Your head is heavy in standing splits. It's tempting to look forward. Don't do it. Relax your neck. Tuck that right hip under, even if it means your leg lowers down a little bit. Press the back side of your right knee up towards the ceiling. Get that leg as long as you can. Soften your left knee so that you can use the strength of that leg and not pull anything in your hamstring. Extend your arms forward and start to lift your chest in towards warrior three. And you can really take your time to get there. There is no rush. Your block or blocks can come in handy. Keep your gaze down towards the floor. So your chin is just slightly tucked. Again, you're just working to not crunch the vertebrae in your neck. So the crown of your head is pulling in the direction of your palms. Your palms face one another here. Again, Tadasana, arms, exact, precise, strong upper body. Now, you're going to continue to move. Dancer is where you're headed. Go slow. Keep that little bend in your left knee. Squeeze the mat with your left toes for support. Your right knee bends, your heel comes in as you draw yourself upright. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, right hand comes back. It grabs the arch, so the inside of your right foot, and you pull it in. Pull up and in with your left hip, getting a little bit taller. Take an inhale. And exhale, if you would like, you start to kick into your hand. You'll feel your quad activate, the front of your thigh. That's good. You're going to use that as you start to lift your toes up. Your knee will lift. Worry less about hinging forward here. The hinge comes naturally from the elevation of the knee. It's not actually something that you need to lean yourself into. It's more important to get that leg up. That's where the pose is. All right, now release your foot. Inhale, one-legged Tadasana. The right knee comes up to hip height. Exhale, figure four, cross it over. Pull your knee back. Pull your hip bones up and in, once again, scooping your pelvis. Hands come down. Now it's easy to lean out into the left here, so really pull up and in. And then if you want, you can start to sink your hips back. So much I'm saying hips underneath shoulders, but here you do get to stick your butt out behind you. And as you do, you pull your chest forward. Think heart towards thumbs to help keep the long, straight spine. When you round your spine, you'll notice the stretch in that right hip essentially goes away. So much stretching through the hips, because it's all connected, is the length in your back. So lengthen, especially through your lower back, for one more big inhale. And as you exhale, you can slowly start to move, start to come up, lengthen your left leg, lift your right knee. Inhale to one-legged Tadasana, stand tall. Exhale, forward fold. Sweet release as you step that foot down and hinge. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale through upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Take a full body inhale. And a full body exhale. We're flowing through this. One breath, one movement. We're combining a few of the movements. You'll see what I mean. Worry less about perfecting any given pose and just connect your movements. That's it. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot back. Breathe in. Breathe out and twist. Right hand lifts. Inhale, rise, shoulders over hips. Exhale. Inhale, reverse triangle. Spin your left heel down. Right arm lifts high. Exhale, circle down to the ground, back of your mat. Inhale, walk your hands through center. Exhale, Skandasana. You don't need to lift here. Inhale, stretch your left arm up and over, right hand touches down. Exhale, lunge, pivot forward. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, standing splits, left leg lifts. Inhale as you begin to come into warrior three. And I want you to follow your breath all the way to the top. So you move through warrior three, all the way up, all the way up. And at the top, you take a full body inhale. Exhale as you circle back and grab your foot. Inhale, stand tall, lengthen. Exhale, kick forward. Inhale, one-legged Tadasana, release your foot, knee high. Exhale, figure four. Maybe you bend your knee right away as you come down. Inhale, one-legged Tadasana, rise back up. Exhale, forward fold, step down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale through upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Good, inhale, look forward. Exhale to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot back. Breathe in. Breathe out and twist. Left hand lifts. Inhale, rise, shoulders over hips. Exhale, find your balance. Inhale, reverse triangle. As you open, you lengthen. Exhale down towards the back of your mat. Inhale, hands walk through the center. Exhale, Skandasana, left knee bends. Maybe you lift. Inhale, right arm up and over, left hand behind you. Exhale, lunge, come forward. Take a breath in to prepare. Exhale, standing splits, right leg launches up, flex your foot right away. And if you follow your breath, again, coming all the way through warrior three, slowly rising, take your time, there's no rush. Bend your right knee, draw your heel in. At the top, you take a full body inhale. Exhale, circle back, grab your foot. Breathe in as you lengthen the left side of your torso. Exhale, you kick. Inhale, one-legged Tadasana, left knee up. Exhale, figure four, bend your left knee, sink down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga, high to low plank. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lift your hips. So good. All right. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward and through, have a seat. Now, knees bent, feet planted in front of you. Sit on your sit bones. Those are the pointy bones underneath your butt. You're not sitting behind them. You're not rounding, right? Upright, tall, straight spine. Hands forward. Flip them up. Draw your shoulders back. And then lean your shoulders back into Navasana. Boat pose. Boat pose. I did it again. Did you hear it? Oh, it's embarrassing. So here's the deal. You can stay right here if it feels like hard work in your core. If you need more, lift one shin. Make sure that you're staying on the sit bones, not rounding in order to get the shins up. And then you can lift the other one. Again, making sure you stay on that same point of contact on your sit bones, not rounding. Lower back should be really tall here. Chest pulls forward, shoulders back. And you can always lengthen your legs. You can bring your arms overhead, making a V shape with your body. It's really whatever you want to make your core get achy and shaky. Keep your shoulders back, keep your chin slightly lifted so your gaze will be more towards the ceiling than in front of you. Always working to keep your neck neutral. Now I'm feeling my hip flexors more than normal this morning. Are you? I know you can't answer me. That can be a sign of tightness in the front of your hips. It can be a lot of, if you've had a lot of core work lately. Tap your toes to the ground for an in-between. Versus flat feet or lifted feet if you're feeling your hip flexors. It's just slightly more support. All right, now we're going to move. Take a deep breath. Exhale, twist your arms to the right. Your hips and your legs stay centered. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist it to the left. It's center, twist, center, and twist. And of course, you can keep your shins lifted through this as long as your legs aren't moving. I don't want them shifting from side to side with that twist. They stay grounded. So maybe you do want to try it from your toes. Keep your shoulders back. Keep your chin up. I promise we're doing this for a reason. You're going to be using these muscles here shortly to add on to our sequence, maybe to try a lift or two. But of course, those are always optional. Follow your breath. Here's 4, 3, 2, one more. All right, come back to the center, take a deep breath in. Exhale, come forward, cross your ankles, plant your palms, step your feet back and come on down to your knees. Now we've got a modified plank position. So hips come forward, hip bones up and in. You're gonna start with the top half of your chaturanga or tricep push-up. Bend your elbows, bring them straight back behind you. Come about halfway down and then push back to the top. It's halfway down and push, halfway down and push. And I want you to really focus on keeping your elbows at your sides, not, and I'm gonna flip so you can see from the other angle, wide, right? When elbows go back outside of your shoulders, that's different. Elbows straight back behind you. And if you feel like you can easily do the top half, then get that full range and get your chest as low as you can to the ground. If you have that down and you're like, hey, that's easy, good on you, but then do it from your toes, make it harder. Your triceps, backside of your upper arm, they do a lot for you. They are actually your heavy lifters, even though we tend to concentrate on biceps because we can see them easier. Triceps are actually the ones that do a lot of lifting for you. So keep them strong. Just 4, 3, 2. All right, and you can put a puppy dog pose after that. Stretch your hips back, keep them lifted from your heels and press your chest down. They call this puppy dog pose because puppies do it. I have a puppy, well, he's 10 months now. He does this all day long. I'll just look over and he's just sitting there wagging his tail, looking at me like this. It's so cute. It's not cute when I do it, I know. But it's a real thing. All right, come forward, curl your toes under, lift your hips into down dog, give your feet a pedal. If you need water, it'd be okay to take a quick sip. I'm going to, my house feels very dry this morning. And then I want you to reconnect with your breath because I'm guessing through all that core work, you let go of Ujjayi Pranayama, which is fine, but you just have to keep coming back to it. Constriction in your throat, full body inhale and exhale. We are about to have so much more fun with this sequence. Keep an open mind in terms of try something new, even if you don't normally, it's okay. It's fun to try new things, right? And it doesn't have to be very serious. Let yourself have fun with it as you try and as you play with these things rather than scowl and grunt and grit your teeth through it, yeah? Feel. Okay, let's do it. Inhale, look forward. Exhale to the top of your mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale to chair. Bend your knees. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. Connect your palms, twist your torso, hook your left elbow outside of your thigh. Breathe here. Now, you have some options. If it doesn't feel good to twist all the way to your thigh, bring your elbow in between your knees instead. You can also separate your knees. Just make sure that knees and toes are in line versus, which sometimes happens, feet together, knees apart. Horrible for your lower back. Don't do it, okay? Squeeze everything together or keep it separate intentionally. And then push your palms together as tightly as you can. Activate your upper body and point your right elbow straight up at the ceiling rather than behind you. Drive your elbow or your tricep into the outside of your right thigh for a deeper twist. And now you can stay right here. You absolutely can. Your legs might start to shake and burn. That's good. You could try side crow. Side crow is an arm balance, and you bring your left hand down to the ground. Your right hand is coming down behind it, so your right elbow and tricep will be closer towards your butt. You bend your elbows in towards you, like chaturanga, straight back, and you lean onto your triceps. That is your shelf. And as you lean, your face comes closer to the ground, and that can feel a little scary, but your feet can stay connected. They don't have to lift. I'll show you another angle so your feet can stay connected. Maybe one foot lifts, maybe both feet lift, maybe they hop a couple times. The wider you spread your hands, the more evenly your weight is distributed, the better your balance is going to be. So really wide hands, and then you're really gripping and pushing into your fingertips. Your fingers are really strong. So if you just push into the heel of your hands, you're much more likely to fall because your wrists are taking the brunt of that. Use the strength of your fingers. They hold people up on rocks, right? They can hold you here. Notice what muscles are working for you. Obliques, yes. Triceps, yes. Take one more breath from wherever you are. And if you're not in your prayer twist, I want you to slowly start to make your way back there. So in that prayer twist, now pop your left heel up off of the ground. Put all the weight into your right foot and lift the left foot all the way up off of the ground. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Good. Now, take your time. You're working towards a revolved lunge, but I want you to try to find some hang time. Extend that left leg out as far as you possibly can. Maybe even hold it there a moment before very slowly with control, touching down to earth. And now you're in your revolved lunge. Open your arms wide to a fly position. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now inhale, reverse triangle right away. You rise up. You open to the left, right arm high. Exhale, circle down to the ground. Inhale, walk your hands through center. Exhale, Skandasana. And here, I do want you to play with lifting your hips up off of your heel if that's where you're at. Squeeze the muscles in your legs. Try to center your weight, because what happens is naturally you want to bring your weight into that bent leg because it feels like that's where the power is going to be. And there definitely is more power there, but by centering your weight, you can now use your left leg as well, and your hamstring is really strong. So use it, center your weight, and push up with both legs. Good. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. Lower your hips down, right hand behind you. Inhale, left arm up and over. Exhale, low lunge. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out, standing splits. Soften your right knee. Follow your breath all the way to the top. You got it. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, dancer. Sweep your hand back, grab your foot. You're going to spend more time in dancer so you can move slow. Kick, lift, kick and lift, kick and lift. Maybe you hinge, but remember, the hinge forward isn't something I want you to do intentionally. You let it happen as that leg is lifting. Keep your gaze over your right fingertips. Find one unmoving focal point, your drishti, and you stare straight through it. Your left quadricep, top of your left thigh, should face the floor here. But turn that hip underneath you rather than letting it open to the side, which it likes to do. Push your edge. You have just a few more breaths. And if you fall out, that's fantastic. That is what it means to push your edge, right? It doesn't mean find your perfect pose. It means push the edges. Get stronger. All right, release your foot. Inhale, one leg into Tadasana. Exhale, figure four, cross it over, hands come down. Now we have one more thing to play with on this side. And this is called Matsukanagasana, grasshopper pose. It is like figure four and side crow had a baby, and that baby likes to balance on its hands. I don't know, yeah. So you start by bending your right knee. You're coming down into that figure four. Now, you're going to twist, like prayer twist. As you twist, move real slow. Hips stay forward. It is just your upper body. We've been practicing that this entire time. So really focus on your hips staying forward and not letting the whole body turn. And maybe that's as far as you go today, is just working on getting that twist in. A block can also be really handy if you need that extra balance, right? As you're starting to twist, you can walk the block around and hold on to it so you don't fall, if that feels better to you. Now, if you got the twist, you're working to hook your left tricep and the sole of your left foot. So you find a hook. Now, again, you could stay here, or your left hand could come down to the ground. This time your right hand will come out to the side of it, not behind it. And that is something that I want to stress because I see it all the time in live classes. And it's naturally what we want to do because side crow, it's behind. This is out to the side, okay? So it's further away from your body. Your hands come down. Now lean into that right palm, really push into your left tricep. And your work here is to lift the right leg off of the ground. And then you start to lower your hips just a little to try and make them even with your shoulders. And that is grasshopper. When you fall out, your butt just comes down 3 inches so it doesn't hurt. So that's really great because I know sometimes it can be scary in inversions. So play with it. At any step, you can stop, right? Maybe you work on balance. Maybe you work on twist. Maybe you're working on getting down to the floor, right hand out to the side. Then you lean and you lift. Now, I will say, pushing into your arm doesn't feel great with your foot, right? But it's not going to damage it. The harder you push, the more lift you will get because your hips will come up. Legs are stronger generally than our abdomen. So if you work with just your abdomen, it's going to be really hard to lift your hips. Kicking into your arm, however, is going to give the strength of your legs that extra little push. All right. Now, this was a lot, right? A lot was just happening. You can just step back into downward facing dog if you prefer, or you can slowly come out of it the same way we got in and go through the whole flow, completely up to you. If you're flowing, you come all the way up to one-legged Tadasana, take an inhale, exhale as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, Chaturanga. Welcome back to downward facing dog, regaining breath, regaining focus. Why are you here? What was your intention? Good. Clear all the air from your lungs. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale to chair. Exhale, prayer twist to the left. Connect your palms, work that right elbow outside of your thigh. Push into your hands, lift your heart to your thumbs, left elbow high, and breathe. You hold and you squeeze and you shake. You invite those sensations into your body. Try to get your hips below your heart. And you can always bring yourself into side crow if you want to play with it on this side. As you do, think about which muscles are working. Mindful muscle connection. Obliques have to lift. Triceps have to hold. Shoulders have to hold. Utilize those muscles that you were just working on. Good. A couple more breaths. All right, and if you're not in a prayer twist, I do want you to start to make your way there. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. Lift your right heel up. Put more weight in the left. Lift the right foot all the way up and hold it for a moment. Find your balance. And then you slowly start to stretch it out behind you, lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Keep a little bend in your left knee. Then you slowly touch down. Find your balance. Open your arms wide to fly. You got it. Now, inhale, reverse triangle, open, stretch. Exhale, down to the back of your mat. Inhale, walk your hands through the center. Exhale, Skandasana. Bend your left knee, lengthen your right leg. Bend that right knee. Rise up. Shift your weight to the center and lift away from your heel and breathe. Let your legs turn to jello. That is completely okay. We are so close to being done. You might as well let it happen. Lift your chin. Pull the crown of your head upwards. Keep scooping your pelvis. Keep your core engaged. Don't forget to breathe. Good. All right. Left hand touches down behind you. Right arm stretches up and over. Inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, standing splits. Now, inhale as you begin to rise, but you exhale on the way up as you follow your breath as you come all the way upright. Take a deep inhale. Exhale to dancer. Circle your right hand back, grab your foot. You begin to kick and lift, but move slow into it. There's no rush. You're just moving a millimeter at a time. The more you kick, the more you pull your hand back into your foot. The kick and that pull, that opposition is so much of this balance. And it seems odd that something like that would be what makes you balance on one foot in a weird position in your body, but it really is. It's allowing your body to lean back but not fall back. You got it. Now pull your foot inwards. So your knee stays exactly behind your hip, not out to the right side here. Find your edge. Fall out of your edge. That's great. That's what you're supposed to do. All right. So slowly release your foot. Come all the way up, one-legged Tadasana. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, figure four, cross it over. Matsukanagasana. You bend the left knee. You work on twisting to the left this time. And remember, you can stay right there. You can just work on the twist. That's completely fine. Maybe you come down to work on the hook. Maybe you want to block underneath you. Otherwise, the right hand is coming down to earth. Left hand out, further away from you, not behind you. You bend your elbows straight back. Think chaturanga arms. You push into your right arm as you lift the left foot. You start to lower your hips down. Your left heel pushes forward. Your feet are flexed. It's really hard to talk and do that at the same time. Give yourself that little playtime. Like I said, it's a little uncomfortable to push onto your tricep, but no damage there. So push to help lift. All right. Take a few more breaths wherever you are. And again, remember, you have the choice. If you're like, hey, I am done, you can step back into downward facing dog and pedal your feet. Take some deep breaths, some water, that's totally fine. If you want to go through your whole flow to get there, please do, right? We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Then we get to wind down, which is so lovely. And for people like me, it's really hard after intense work and challenges. I just want to go, 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 go. I don't know if you can tell that about me. But taking that time to really slow things down is so important for your body, for your mind. This is how your brain learns to trust you, that you're not, that stress level is not from running from a saber-toothed tiger, but rather you're doing this for fun. Right? So come to downward facing dog if you're not there. Close your eyes a moment and try to physically slow down your breath. So your body's still really active here. You're pushing the ground away from you. Your abdomen's engaged to keep your pelvis in place. You squeeze the muscles. You wrap them around your femurs. Now your breath is slow. You have control. Good. Now inhale and look forward. Exhale, step forward and through and have a seat. Bring your legs out long in front of you this time. Peel the meat out from under your seat. Gives you good solid grounding, and then flex your toes. Bring your arms up overhead. So you're sitting on your sit bones. Your spine is as tall as it could possibly be, no rounding. And then you can lean your chest forward any amount. You're just focusing on leaning the chest forward versus getting to your toes or any of that, because I want your spine to be long. Remember, we talked about that in figure 4. When you round your spine and come down, very little happens in your body in terms of a stretch. When you're pulling your chest forward, all of a sudden everything in the back line of your legs becomes a little longer, a little more activated. The muscles running all along your spine through your lower back, they get that great big stretch and pull as well. And that is what I want you to focus on. You can pull on your feet if you can reach them for more stretch. You can bring your hands to the ground, grip as tightly as you can, and statically pull back. Again, your hands aren't sliding back, just enough to draw your chest further forward. Try not to think of it as a static hold, but rather constant evolution in your body. Each inhale, you lengthen. Each exhale, you fold. And it happens over and over and over again. And slowly make your way back up. Once you start to walk your feet out to the side, go slow and notice what's happening in your body, because you want to stay on that same point on your hips, not round behind them. So you bring your feet out as much as you can while kind of rolling forward on your pelvis and not rounding back. Pelvis is not scooped anymore. Now you're trying to create space between your hip bones and rib cage. When you get to a point where you can feel that stretch around your hips, great, you can stay. If you get that stretch upright, wonderful. If you need more, you can walk your hands forward and come towards the floor. But again, no rounding. Your feet are maybe closer together. Your knees may be a little bent. You can even throw pillows under there if it feels better. But I really just wanted you to focus on the idea of being up on your pelvis, not behind it here. That was my foot on the floor, I promise. Here, again, you're not doing much for your body. So even if you have to bend your knees, like grip the ground and pull your chest forward, do everything you can to keep the length in your lower back. And all of these things, I don't say them because I want you to stretch in a graceful or pretty manner. It really is just all about the safety and mechanics in your body. All right, and slowly come back up. Stretch your right hand towards your right foot and bring your left arm up. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold over to the right. Pull back with your left shoulder and look underneath. So your chest is open to the side, not coming down towards the floor. And now you're creating space between your hip bone and your rib cage again. Come back up. We'll do the other side. Right hand lifts. Inhale. Exhale. Fold on over. Stretch through the right side. Pull back with the right shoulder. Look underneath. Give one more breath here. And come up. Walk your feet back towards one another. Bend your knees. Grab your hamstrings and roll back. Nice and slow. Bring your knees with you. Rock a little side to side. Turn that into a happy baby. When you're ready, grab your feet. And I recommend giving your hamstrings a little extra love today. It's up to you how yours feel. If you want, bring your left heel in and extend the right leg out. Try and keep the backside of your left hip grounded. Press the backside of your right knee towards the ceiling. You're working on getting deeper into the hamstring because you did a lot with it. Try it on the other side, right heel in, extend your left leg out. You're only pushing it out as far as you can while maintaining the grip on your foot. Backside of right hip probably wants to roll off, so really pull it down. Then bring it in, knees come together and push both feet overhead and legs up the wall. Now here I want you to give your feet and your ankles a little love. Flex your toes back. That great big stretch through your Achilles and your calves. All that balancing can build up little knots in your feet. That's a very unpleasant feeling. Point your toes. Not enough to make it feel like you're going to get a Charlie horse, but enough to feel a good stretch. And then keep your foot pointed and just flex your toes. Get your arches a bit. And then flex them back and circle them out a few times. You can do that a few times if you want. Point, flex, half flex, Barbie foot, circle. All right, then you can bring your knees in, give yourself a little hug if you like before arranging yourself in a position for Shavasana. And that position is completely up to you, however you feel the best. You let your body get nice and heavy, you let your breath go, just let it come naturally falling in and out of your body. Taking a moment to soak up all of that beautiful energy. Ernest Hemingway wrote, "When spring came, even the false spring, there were no problems except where to be happiest. The only thing that could spoil a day was people. And if you could keep from making engagements, each day had no limits. People were always the limiters of happiness, except for the very few that were as good as spring itself." I tend to agree with him here. And something that I have learned spending the last year pretty isolated, it's just me and my kids, that really, we limit ourselves and each other sometimes. But when you spend more time with just yourself and get really comfortable with who you are, there's a whole lot more joy in your day-to-day because you stop worrying about what other people think, or more importantly, trying to impress upon or please other people all day long. You are in charge of your happiness. You are in charge of being present and finding joy in each and every moment. And if you're surrounded by somebody or multiple people who take that from you, who are the limiters in your happiness, no good. So when you go off of your mat today, surround yourself with those people who are as good as spring itself, and thank you for being a part of my spring. Yogis, as always, it's an honor and a pleasure to guide you through. I leave you here, but to you I bow. Namaste.